Hey, thanks for joining us on today's live stream. Please consider this our gift to you, an exploration into the spiritual realm, the universal architecture of infinite possibilities. Here we teach, explore, experiment in order to share the secrets passed down from the masters.
Welcome. Today, we are unlocking the secrets of your mind and diving into the mystical world of dreams in this week's live stream. We call it Dreamland Diaries. This episode 110 of Hacking the Infinity Matrix. Dreamland Diaries, understanding the unconscious artistry and power of your dreams. All right, now, you can begin this journey with us here today through the enigmatic and enchanting world of dreams, simply by opening your mind and asking the question, have you ever found yourself waking up in the morning feeling mystified by the artistry and power of the dream or dreams that you had? Have you ever pondered, what was my unconscious telling me or doing? Well, you've arrived at the right place, the perfect place for you today. Join us as we dive into the realm of dream interpretation and unlock some of the secrets of your unconscious communications. We'll explore some of the science, some new science behind why we dream, and uncover the hidden messages that lie within them. So from reoccurring dreams to dream journals, we'll discover the underlying meanings behind it all. Take a moment, close your eyes or open your eyes, whatever works for you right now, where you're at, and come along with us in this journey through Dreamland Diaries.
Well, actually, Gary, I know some people that actually sleep with their eyes open. So it's very weird to see, but it does happen. So welcome everyone to Hacking the Infinity Matrix, episode 110. Dreamland Diaries, understanding the unconscious artistry and power of your dreams. My name is Ross Armson. This is my partner, Gary Johnson, and we've got a super powerful live stream for you today. So thank you all for being here and joining us live. And those of you who are catching us on the replay, we appreciate you too. So thank you so very much. So before we jump into the mysterious realms of this topic, let's begin with you telling us where you're tuning in from. All of you have to do is just tap on the keyboard or your screen and tell us in the comments where you are located. What city, what country, where are you right now? And let's show everyone else the reach that this show has. It's amazing because we are on every single corner of this round sphere that we are floating on in space. So drop in the comments. Also, what did you dream about last night? Okay, and now we don't want to get too personal, so let's be clear. We want to keep this PG-13. But are those dreams reoccurring? Do they have familiar surroundings, familiar people? So bear with me. This will set the tone for what we're going to teach and what you're going to get out of this training. So again, tell us where you're from, how many hours of sleep that you get at night, what you're dreaming about, how do you feel, and what do you think that you need? If anything was
we got New York City in the house. We got Asheville, North Carolina. Hampton Court, England. Awesome. Keep them coming. We have to hear all the different spaces we're reaching.
We really do. We really, really do. So while you guys are doing that, so let me remind you that at the top of the comments, we pinned the link to where you can get access to our replays. And there'll be in our private group, the Infinity Matrix. So once you get there, you'll have 3 questions to be answered in order to for you to be approved for the private group, or to be accepted in it. And then you'll get the opportunity also to join our VIP program if you want, to get access to the bonuses and the exclusive content from time to time. So drop that in, join the group. I mean, there's, oh my
We
gosh,
got
there's,
Tel Aviv. Oh, well, I don't think we've seen Tel Aviv before. Hey, Leora, good to see you.
I'm
I don't
sure
recall
either.
Tel Aviv. That's a new
Very, very
location.
cool.
And then middle of the UK in Staffordshire.
Fire.
I think it's right. Reoccurring dreams at the moment of being naked and visiting the past friends and people who have passed over. Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's
Milford, Pennsylvania. Hey,
very
Kevin.
cool.
Well, good to see you. Tracy, Lior, Munway, Bonnie, rising out of the ashes with bipolar. Way to go. Awesome, awesome. And Johannesburg, South Africa. Way, wow, we definitely are all global now. Look at us
There we
touching all over the
go.
world.
Very, very,
Welcome,
very, very,
everybody.
very nice. All right.
If you
So,
and Hawaii, woo-hoo, aloha. Also, if you have any questions during the as we go through, because we are going to blast through some stuff, and we did quite a bit of stuff on it last week as well.
mhm,
So if you caught last week's live stream and you had any questions that were lingering, go ahead and shoot them in the comments as we're doing
mhm,
the stream, and we will circle back to them. And if it's relevant to the current topic, we'll bring it on air. If not, we'll come back around after both Ross and I in the comments, and we come back and we touch base with just about everybody after each live stream. So we got
yep. Hey, Kelly,
Pierpont, Ohio.
there we
Go ahead,
go.
Kelly. Good to
All
see
right.
you
So
guys.
I'm not seeing anybody putting in what their dreams were about last night
We got that
with
naked person running around in
with
their
the
dream
exception of
now.
Tracy. So, but and again, we're going to talk about reoccurring dreams as well. So that's a very, very important topic. So if you're having something like that that's going on, let us know. We are here to interact and we are here to help. So let's jump into this, Gary, because we've got a lot to get going,
Let's
get
go.
through. So, it's how many of us, actually have dreams? Well, it's believed that all mammals, which includes humans, dream. And last week, there was many people on the live stream that said that they didn't dream. It's like, I don't dream. It's like, well, chances are that you do dream, but simply don't remember them. And in most cases, to remember a dream, you need to wake up during the REM process. REM being, I'm going to refer to that a lot as rapid eye movement. That is how somebody looking at you would know that you're actually in a dream process. That's your rapid eye movement process. And so, so you need to be woken up, or not be woken up, but if you wake up, something wakes you up in the process of a dream, you'll remember it. And it'll unspool very quickly and fade from memory. So, and that's why later on in the live stream today, Gary's going to be talking about dream journaling. It's very, very important. If this topic is very important to you, but dream journaling is awesome. So, dreaming is a natural part of the sleep cycle and has been observed in a variety of mammalian species, including rats, and cats, and dogs, and primates, and lions, and tigers, and bears. Oh my. While it's difficult to definitively measure whether or not an animal is dreaming as we define it, there are many indications that suggest that they do. For example, during the rapid eye movement phase of sleep, which dogs and cats and all have as well, that's also the most important thing that's associated with dreaming. And animals exhibit similar brain activity patterns just as humans do. So additionally, animals have been observed to exhibit behavioral during sleep that suggests that they are dreaming, such as twitching and vocalizing and moving their limbs in response to the imagined stimuli. I personally, I have two dogs. I have two huskies, and I love to watch my dogs sleep and dream. Well, and I'm rooting for them to finally catch that rabbit because I know that's what they're dreaming about. So there are many different levels of things going on while your body is at rest. Most of you are only familiar with the level of the physical body. When you're tired and you go to sleep, relaxing the body, de-stressing the body, allowing your mental faculties and your daily experiences to just ease and shut down the body's motor functions, turning your attention inward to allow you to process information of those experiences of the day. So this allows you to reorganize your perspective on things. And of course, there's physiological repairing of your body, healing itself at a 3 to 7 cycle per second deep delta wave sleep. These
Yeah, and
lower
today,
cycles,
so Ross, let me just jump
yeah,
in. And today I'm going to actually talk about the physiological that goes way beyond what many of you know about,
yeah, yeah.
and how important dreams are, and have why they've become a part of our evolutionary process.
Oh,
And we'll go into that today as well. So make sure you tune in
yeah.
for that. I'm just going to jump in a couple quick things here, Ross. So I got sleeping with short spells. So this Munway says, sleeping with short spells at the moment, making an effort to take note of my dreams. Good for you. Well done.
Nice.
Last night, kind of ordering a couple of local beers in Thailand that I like, not accepting the international beers my companion selected, not reoccurring. Maybe because my friend said yesterday, hey, he was going on a holiday there next week. Yeah, so it's bringing in stuff that you're, through your waking day, you're bringing that into your nighttime. And like I said, some of the processing that goes on of that. Leor says, I think I dreamt about eating. I'm doing a fast right now. And then
Good.
Keith says, I dreamt I was working with my hands. Semi woke up actually turning a tool with my hand. In my dream, I was wondering why my hand turning wasn't working the tool. I woke up laughing. Yeah, and there's a reason for that. There's a part of our brain that gets turns off the motor functions in our dream for most of us, and that's why we're not acting out our dreams, right? And sometimes, again, in those different stages that Ross talked about, it can kind of reactivate it, and that's why you can end up in sleepwalking or doing things while you're dreaming and actually acting them out. And then Christina says, why do I have dreams that come true? Well, there are premonition type dreams that happen, and there's a combination of reasons why that occurs. Why sometimes I have dreams that feel like visiting someone else's experience. Wow, you're tapped into a different frequency there, girl. We're going to talk about that on different
That's,
trainings.
mhm.
The paranormal part of dreams is a whole other topic. My dreams are always crazy. I have woke up smelling things from my dream. Yeah, and what does that mean? Again, it's in the part that I'm going to talk about and how the brain adapts and rewires stuff. That may kind of give you some insight as to why that happens.
Yeah.
So just wanted to jump in on that while those
Yeah.
comments were there.
So when we get into these lower cycles of sleep, that allows your body to regulate your chemistry. It allows your cellular nature to regenerate, to revitalize itself, tapping into deep reservoirs of energy and allowing the energy to build back up into a certain level. So again, this can be very healing as it allows things to come back into alignment. And your cellular, atomic, and subatomic level, relaxing all of the output that you experience during your waking regime. So physiologically, as you all know, it's very healthy, very aligning, relax to rest, to de-stress, and give the body a chance to go back to its natural state as much as possible. Now, everything that I just mentioned is happening during your REM sleep, while you're dreaming at the same time. So a lot of people think that sleep is just sleep and it's just for rest, and it's not. It is, your body is so busy while you're sleeping. Your brain is so busy while you're sleeping. Your subconscious is so busy while you're sleeping. Everything. That is why sleep is so important. We stressed that in last week's episode. What is going on in your body while you're sleeping? I'm going to give you an example. Okay. So about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, they discovered, okay, with all the new technology of imaging and such like that, they discovered that when people got to those lower sections of sleep, those lower cycles, the brain actually kind of expanded. And like, what the heck is going on? How come the brain is expanding? Well, they probed deeper into this, and what they found was that your spinal fluid actually pumps up into the brain and it's swirling around. So the brain is getting filled up with your spinal fluid and it's swirling around. What's it doing? It's cleaning your brain, literally cleaning it. It's wiping away dead cells and dendrites that have been pruned off. It's just getting all that stuff out. The blood-brain barrier doesn't allow a lot of toxins, but some toxins and things can get through that, but it's cleaning all that stuff away. Okay, I'm a nerd. Y'all know that. This year, it was either this year or later, the very end of last year, another research team went, well, wait a minute. So if that's happening, we just discovered that that's happening. They're starting to connect it to a lot of Alzheimer's cases. Because couple different things. One, Alzheimer's used to predominantly be in men, and now they're finding that women are kind of catching up to it. So they're like, okay, now our cases are becoming worse and worse, more and more. And the fact that people are not sleeping the way that they're supposed to sleep. And it's not anyone's fault per se, because it's the environment that we have started to create for ourselves. And so last week we talked about lighting and the environment for sleeping. If you missed that, go back and see it. Okay, because all of that is interrupting and not allowing your body and your brain to get into these lower cycles of sleep. It's crucial. It is the difference of the sky is bluer and the grass is greener. You really, really emphasize this. There is a myth that says that you cannot make up for lost sleep, and that is a myth. So just as sleep deprivation is compounding, so is reversing it. Night after night of full cycle sleep, full cycle sleep, full cycle sleep, your body simply starts to make up for lost time, get the repairing work that it needs to get done, and it just starts to become more efficient at sleeping. Now, Gary, for example, I don't think he ever sleeps. I get messages from him at 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Gary, what's your secret?
Yeah, again, I think that for me, that's not, I mean, that's been a thing for me for a long time. Remember that I've been studying and practicing hypnotherapy on myself for we're 40 odd years now, and by doing that, I think from an early age and doing hypnotic self-hypnosis processes very early and doing it every single night as a ritual to go into the sleep state, I guide myself into hypnosis, into that state, get into that those deep states, and then just allow myself to kind of slip into the sleep. So I trained my body that when I close my eyes for the purpose intention of sleep, that's what I do. I don't really do anything else. My wife is blown away how sometimes I can, something will happen and she'll wake me up in the middle of the night and I gotta, check out, a sound or in the house or whatever. I'll go check it out and come back, and like that, I'm right back into that sleep state. My body doesn't waste a lot of time to do that, to get to that quality of sleep, which we emphasized so much last week. So important, right? And for, decades now, I'd say at least last 3 decades, I function very well on 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, right? And I can go stretches with less than that and totally be all right. But like you said, but then when I sense it, when I tune into my body and I sense that I've done that for too long, I kind of do a catch up, right? So I'll take a day and I'll say, okay, no, I'm gonna just do. I feel my body's is kind of getting signs of either feeling sick or just out of balance or whatever, and I'll actually go and have a good full 8 hours of sleep. And that, like, to me, that's like, wow, that's like a concept. I just, it's, and I've tried different things. I've even tried going to bed at different, I mean, I play with the dream state and all those kinds of things for so many years. I've tried to go in bed, someone set a certain time. And so I've tested those out. And, and if I go to bed at 10 o'clock, I'm up at 2. My body says, okay, we're done. Let's do so. Right? If I do 11, I'm up at 3. And I'm like, okay, so it's, for me, that 4-hour cycle is what my body's been conditioned to over the years.
Right. So,
Right.
and I want to
And
emphasize what you just, I want to emphasize, excuse me, I just want to emphasize what Gary said. For him,
yeah,
it's different for everyone. And we again, we go back to last week's episode, we really talked about that, is that for everyone to get out of this generalization of sleep habits and what you need to have and such. It's your body, and everyone's body is different. Everybody requires
and there's a lot
different.
of variables, right? There's a lot of
Yes, there's
variables
so
because,
many
again,
variables.
the from the food you eat to the thoughts you have to what you do and what you do before the prep, like we talked about all that last week. So go
Right.
back and review that live stream, and yeah. So the key again is getting that quality of sleep, right, and getting there as quickly as possible, and to train yourself to let go of some of the, I think one of the big things that people have to deal with is what they've been bombarded and conditioned with, that you have to have 8 hours or that you can't function, or you have to, like, those kinds of things. When you kind of let go of those ideas and belief systems and really test out what your body needs and what your body can get conditioned to for whatever reasons or purpose, you'd be surprised. You'll be
Mhm.
surprised because you'll have windows of opportunities where you have where you get, like, for whatever reason, you only have 3 hours, 4 hours to sleep, and you do it, and then you wake up and you're functioning. Well, that means that's a possible pattern that you could check out and test. But if you get rid of some of the other stuff that would
Right.
prevent you from getting to sleep as quickly or as deeply as you would need to.
Yeah. So I know what you're all thinking, that, this is, well, what are these guys talking about? I thought this was about dreaming. Well, it is.
Well, it happens in
However,
sleep.
exactly. So in order to get the into that dream state, a good quality dream state,
Yeah.
everything else needs to be in alignment as well. So that's where we're going.
Yeah.
So why do we dream? What's the deal? So, well, it's a multifaceted biological process that's it's really not yet fully understood. But researchers and spiritualists alike have made some huge progress in unraveling these mechanisms. And prevailing theory is that dreaming is a result of the brain's processing and consolidating of memories and emotions.
Mhm.
So during sleep, the brain goes through different stages of sleep, including REM, rapid eye movement, as I said before, that level of sleep. And it's associated with dreaming. So during REM sleep, the brain becomes more active and the body becomes temporarily paralyzed, as Gary said earlier, to prevent you from physically acting out your dreams. And just kind of a side note, there are people who, when they wake up in the morning, it takes a little bit longer for their body to reactivate and such. So they are literally in bed paralyzed, and they know it. They're relatively kind of used to it. Some people, it
They're
scares
called
the hell out of
teenagers,
them.
aren't they?
I don't know if it's actually if it was narrowed down to particular age ranges, but I have heard about teenagers, yeah, going kind of freaking out. And I can honestly understand how that would feel.
Yeah.
So that paralyzation, though, it's very, very important, because there are also some people who that does not activate, and they are flamming around, they're sleepwalking and such, and that is where that is not activated, and some people have been hurt quite badly and such. So that there's a reason for that. And so the exact neural mechanisms that underlie the experience of dreaming are still under investigation, but researchers believe that it involves interactions between various parts of the brain, including the cerebral cortex, the thalamus, and the brainstem. And one theory is that during REM, the brainstem sends signals to the cerebral cortex, which interprets these signals as dream content. Okay, so when all of this works as designed, you feel revitalized when you wake up in the morning. And I like to think of it as the difference between getting through your day and living through your day. There is that much of a difference. When you dial in your sleep, when you learn to hack it like Gary and I have done, and so it is, pardon the pun, night and day. It is such a contrast. And I have seen with clients, I have seen what I would classify as miracles, where once they figure out and they start to kind of feel that difference, they get to become more enthused. Like I want to delve deep into this because I feel great. The color comes back into the skin, the dark circles disappear, they lose weight because there's, we burn a lot of calories while we're sleeping because your brain is on overtime. Okay. And then you have the astral level and the mental level. And you have the opportunity to sort of relook at everything that happened in the day and reorganize your thoughts. So you can allow yourself to learn lessons, allow yourself to extract information from those experiences of the day and look at them on a broader level. And then with your mental reaching into the astral levels, allowing you to start recognizing connections to other things. Everything is interrelated in the experiences that you are having to give you some insights to how you may be able to move forward in your physical life. Just imagine for a moment, having more awareness and more understanding of the associations and the relationships between different events in your daily lives. This happens on that high mental, lower astral level as you're resting, as you are recuperating, as you are re-energizing. Then on that higher astral level, so there are many different things that are going on while you're asleep. And again, all these things may be going on because everything exists at once. But you, from a linear perspective, will not necessarily experience doing the same thing every single night, depending on what it is that you need to do that night. It's different every single night. The idea is that the hippocampus, which is involved in memory formation, replays memories during sleep. And the cortex tries to make sense of these memory fragments by creating a narrative or a story that you experience as a dream. The brain consolidates those memories during sleep through a process called memory consolidation. This is so important. This process involves the transfer of information from short-term memory, which has a limited capacity and duration, to long-term memory, which has a much larger capacity and can last for years or even a lifetime. And this happens in two ways. Consolidation during slow wave sleep, the brain replays the experiences of the day, which helps to consolidate memories. The replaying of the memories is thought to occur because your slow wave sleep, the brain is able to disconnect from the environment and focus on processing information. And this process allows the brain to strengthen connections between neurons that were activated during the day. And that helps to solidify memories. Then you have your consolidation during rapid eye movement, REM. And that has also been linked to the consolidation of memories, particularly those that are emotional or procedural in nature. So during your REM sleep, the brain consolidates procedural memories, which are memories related to skills and habits. And REM may also play a role in the consolidation of your emotional memories by processing and integrating your emotional experiences. And what have we talked about for the last 4 years about your connection to the infinity matrix. That emotion is the fuel. It's jet fuel. So I asked you in the beginning of this if you've had any reoccurring dreams, which are dreams that are experienced repeatedly over a period of time. And sometimes with minor variations, these dreams can be vivid and feel particularly significant, or actually in many cases unsettling to you, the dreamer. Their reoccurrence can have a variety of possible meanings, and their interpretation can depend on the specific details and content of the dream, as well as the personal experiences and emotions of you, the dreamer. Some possible interpretations of reoccurring dreams are like they're unresolved emotions or conflicts. They can be a reflection of unresolved emotions and conflicts or issues that you are struggling with in your waking life. The repetition of the dream may indicate that you need to address these issues in order to find resolution and move forward. Another reason is you have some trauma or stress that can lead to reoccurring dreams, particularly if the traumatic event is not fully processed or resolved. In some cases, reoccurring dreams may be a symptom of post-traumatic stress syndrome, okay, PTSD. That is very, very common. And it perpetuates itself because you keep reliving reoccurring night after night, sometimes day after day. Then you have the reoccurring dreams that may also have a symbolic meaning, representing a deeper subconscious thoughts, feelings, or desires. And the content of that dream may provide clues for what that underlying meaning is. And then the last one is that you have reoccurring dreams that can also be a symptom of some sort of a sleep disorder, like apnea, which can interrupt your normal sleep cycles and lead to disrupted and unusual dream patterns. In other words, if anybody's ever experienced that, is that you may get into your REM, but it's constantly disrupted, and so you don't have that any kind of a flow or a sequence of the dream because it stops and starts, stops and starts, stops and starts.
And so the common thing with all four of those, everybody should be aware, is common thing of all four of those reasons for reoccurring dreams is that there's some kind of communication going on between your conscious and your unconscious mind. There's some kind of communication where your unconscious trying to get something across to you, right? So whether it's the emotions or whether it's dealing with or finding value or knowledge or understanding of a trauma or stress, or the symbolic stuff where it uses metaphorical messages and things like that, or that, hey, there's something wrong with your body, you got to take care of it, you got to look at it, you got to dig deeper. So there's communication that's going on when you're getting these reoccurring dreams.
Yeah.
The key is to try to figure out what that is.
Yeah, Gary, I think what we should do is that if somebody out there is having a reoccurring dream that is very disturbing and really having a hard time, you should contact us. Just get a hold of us, Gary or myself, through our instant messenger, and maybe we can help you unpack that and stop that. And because basically you're kind of stuck in a loop. Your reoccurring dreams is your subconscious mind in most cases just trying to talk to you, and it's like, hello.
It knocks and it knocks and it knocks, and if you don't answer, it just gets worse, or it gets more intensified, or it finds another avenue.
Yeah. So, and we are here to serve you. So if you're having some situations like that, get a hold of us, and we'll see what we can do for you. Because dreaming is a natural and important part of your sleep cycle, and being deprived of dreaming can, oh my gosh, that can have way negative effects on a person's mental and physical health. And research studies have shown that when people are deprived of REM sleep, when most dreaming occurs, they may experience a variety of negative effects, like you're going to have you don't have your memory problems, because you can't get to that level where it starts to consolidate. and your cognitive function starts to decline. You have mood. You can have mood swings, simply because everything is not allowed to reset and such. And I mean, you're talking about depression, you're talking about anxiety, you're talking about irritability and such. You know how when you have those days and someone goes, "Oh, you didn't get much sleep last night." Well, it's probably very true. And you have to step back. And these are all signals. These are all signs. These are still the body game. We have a problem. Okay. It's like when you have a runny nose. Okay. It's a symptom. These are symptoms. Our job is to show you, let's look at the root problem. Let's tell you why these are probably happening. Okay. I mean, you can have, people can go into psychosis and have hallucinations and delusions. People can have, literally physical problems, because what did we say? When you are in your REM sleep, that's when most of the work is done on repairing the body. Okay. If you don't get this, you can have increased inflammation. You can have, immune disorders. You can have metabolic imbalances. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I wasn't kidding when I said earlier, it is the difference between just getting through your day, like, and living through your day, waking up going, I am ready to take on the freaking world. That is the difference. And I'm not exaggerating. This is the difference. This sleep is so important, because overall, while it's possible to function without dreaming, it's possible, but being deprived of dreaming can have so many negative effects on your mental, your physical well-being. It's important to get enough quality sleep. Did I say quality or quantity? Quality, including that most important REM sleep. Yeah. And that's going to support your overall health and your overall well-being.
Yeah, for sure. And again, just to remind you guys, last week's episode, live stream episode, all about the importance and the impact of quality sleep. So if you missed it, make sure you catch the replay. You can still catch the replay in the featured section of our private group. As Ross mentioned earlier, the link is pinned to the top of the comments. So just go to there, answer the 3 questions to be accepted into the group, and enjoy. Okay. If you don't answer all 3 questions, the system will reject your entry. So make sure you enter those. Let me just go through a couple of quick things on the comments here, and then we'll I have some additional things to add on to that. So I'm gonna go back up, and so Jolene says she has premonition dreams. And again, the more you tune into that internal communication, you can find that you can get more of those for sure. And so dreams warned her of stuff. And humans, she says, humans only need a few hours of sleep. Again, each person is different. The amount of sleep you need is not cut and dry. The amount of sleep you need is dependent on a lot of the things that you do in your waking life. Okay.
Physical and mental.
Yeah, right. So there's that variable. You do need the dream thing. And I'm going to talk a little bit here about how, on an evolutionary standpoint, dream has become critical for us as beings. And so, whether you're aware of dreams or not, you have dreams. Okay. Awareness of dreams and having dreams are 2 different things. Be aware of that. You can have both, but they are different things. Okay. And like Jolene says, I still act out my dreams during the day. Okay.
Is that good or is that bad?
I think she's talking good. And she says it's fascinating. What does it mean if you wake up tired and your muscles hurt, even if you slept for 7 hours? So what it can mean is that your body is not producing the chemicals to go to sleep properly, right? So I think someone had mentioned, Raina had mentioned that she takes magnesium. There's other things you can do to kind of help with the body getting into the right state. the preparation of what you do to go to sleep, and how you create that quality sleep experience will determine the length of the experience you have after whatever length of time that you sleep, right?
Yeah,
Because there are people that sleep 8,
one of
10
the other
hours
things,
and they feel that.
yeah, exactly. So one of the things to keep in mind with this as well is that, you know, if you're waking up tired, that means you're not getting into those lower cycles of sleep,
Exactly.
period.
Yeah.
You're just in those top, very light sleep. It's like if your muscles hurt, there's a good chance that when we sleep and you're just simply not being supported, you might want to look at what you're sleeping on, your environment. And so that could very well be that the body is just trying to compensate for something that is not supporting you properly and such. Yeah. So, you know, in 7 hours, I mean, you could go 4 hours, you could go 10 hours, but if what you're sleeping on, your bed, whatever the case may be, isn't doing the job, you're going to physically feel it. Both you're going to be tired and such because you probably are moving around a lot and such, and then also that again your muscles will tighten up. And what ideally, you know, you want to be in an environment, a sleep environment, to where your body just relaxes. You know, so you know, maybe your bed's too hard, maybe your bed's too soft, maybe it's just worn out, whatever the case may be. But that's going to be another thing to look at as well.
Yeah, and then Jolene says, "This is deep, guys, for a Thursday afternoon."
We try to please.
Isn't it always that way with us, Jolene? Raina says, "I have lucid dreams, but never a reoccurring dream."
Oh,
or,
cool.
And again, I would question that. I think that we all have reoccurring dreams. It's whether we become aware of them or not, or whether they work themselves out until they no longer need to be reoccurring. The reoccurring dreams that we have, that we get, that become aware of, are usually because we're not listening to that message, and the unconscious mind has to escalate its communication. It's kind of like, think of it like a scream, right? And so the more intense the dream, the louder the scream. Okay, is a good way to think about it. And so the Jolene says the subconscious, and that's when it becomes a subconscious nightmare. It's where the body, the unconscious mind is saying, it's the only way I'm going to get your attention. It's going to be in your face. So I'm going to make it as intense emotionally as possible. And that way this person's going to put some attention on it. And so that's the, and then just Lior says, I have a reoccurring dreams as kid. Yeah, a lot of us have them as we're kids, as we're going, because there's a lot of processing that's going on. And then later in life, I sometimes dream back to a place not known to me from my waking life I've dreamt about before, and I recognize it as such. Yeah, you know, again, because the storehouse of information that we have in here, and ability to link back to what it feels is necessary and required, it's infinite, right? Don't you think they remember their dreams with sync or past? Not sure what you mean by that, Jolene. And lucid dreams sound interesting. Actually, we're going to talk about lucid dreams next week, right, Ross?
The week after. We have an interview next week.
So we're talking about lucid dreams coming up. We're going to have a whole session on lucid dreams and kind of talk about that as a topic. So make sure you tune in for that as well, and keep aware of when we post that to come up. So one of the most asked questions that we get when we present the topic of sleep and dreams is, do dreams actually have meanings, or are they just random collage of what's buzzing around in our unconscious mind? Based on my experience, which is 40 odd years, my experience and research in the field, the experience and my experience as a hypnotherapist for over 2 decades, it's a little bit of both. Okay, and that's the tricky thing, because how do you distinguish which is it, right? Which is which? Here's what I found. Whenever a client approaches dreams with an inquisitive mind searching for meaning, we can almost always find deep, profound, and relevant meanings that baffle the conscious mind. Okay, almost always. Okay. When they are confused and convinced that dreams are random and completely irrelevant to them in any way, then guess what? It's next to impossible to find meanings for them for their conscious waking life. So the answer, at least in situations that I've been involved in, the answer is that you are the variable. Okay, your consciousness, your awareness, your intention is the variable. Now, you may not know what your dreams mean, but that's an easy fix with the right dream interpretation strategies. Okay, and in the upcoming Master Lab, we will be taking you through a very powerful and personalized dream interpretation lab experiment that will absolutely create a communication bridge between your conscious, your unconscious, and spiritual parts of who you are. Okay, if you're interested in finding more about that Master Lab, it's called Sleep, Dreams, and Your True Nature of Reality. Just type hashtag Master Lab in the comments. That's hashtag Master Labs in the comments, and one of us will circle back and share with you information on how you can join us for that training. Okay, it's going to be about a 3.5 hour training. It's a couple weeks out, right?
Yeah, we're near the end of the month on the 27th.
Yeah. So and if you're interested in any ways on those topics of sleep, dreams, or your nature of reality, you do not want to miss this Master Lab. Okay.
It's very interactive.
I think absolutely.
So when we're talking about what we've done to hack our sleep and to make it work, we're going to show you, give you things that you can do, so you're really going to understand.
We're going to give you real life experiments that you can go out and do for yourself. Absolutely. Right. And I think at some point, it's safe to say that at some point in our lives, we start to question what happens when we close our eyes and slip into that slumber, even if it's for 1 minute. Right? We wonder what the heck is going on, right? We're all seekers of this mysterious and fascinating realm of dreams, because it's a place where our minds and our spirits merge to explore the depths of our unconscious. Our conscious can only contain and maintain and process so many things, but the infiniteness of the unconscious is opened up in that dream world, right? And the dreams may seem like random made-up experiences or a jumbling of bizarre movie clips to entertain you as your body does all the things that it needs to do during the time of sleep, which Ross has talked about. Okay, for some people, it's kind of like a visit to the dentist. Okay, now, hold on. I can stay with me for a second here. Right? Stay with me for a second. All right.
Lost half our audience.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I'm never going to go to sleep again.
I'm not doing any dentist promo here, but okay. We're not sponsored by your local dentist. So stay with me for a second. Maybe not the dentist that we knew when we were growing up, when we were young, but in this era of dentistry, when I take the kids, they go into the office and they're guided to the chair. And after some preliminary explanations and prep work, they lay back. But at our dentist now, before proceeding to do the work that needs to be done, they've actually put on the ceiling, it's about a 30-inch monitor on the ceiling, right above where your head is positioned on the reclining chair. Okay, I don't know if anybody else has this in their dentist office, but what they do is they do that, and then they put on some glasses to kind of hide the light that they need to shine into to do the work they need to do. But you can still through some shades, right? Some sunshades, and you can see through, and you're actually looking at the screen. And then they give you the remote control, so you can search through and focus on the multiple stream options that they have on the screen. And while you're being entertained and distracted, then they can go to work on the dental procedures. Okay. Now, we've touched on some of the physiological purposes of sleep already. But there's something in, and I'm going to circle back around to the dentist reasoning that I brought that up, but there's something in Time magazine that I came across last year. It was middle of last year, so it's about a year ago, that proposes the idea that dreams and dreaming have a physiological function and are actually a protective mechanism that we've developed as a part of our evolution. And what it said was, it's possible that dreams actually protect and preserve our visual cortex. So what we do know from science research is that our brains are flexible, and Ross talked about the flexibility of that a little earlier, and that degree of flexibility is dependent on a lot of variables throughout your life. And because of this flexibility, our brains have this absolutely amazing ability to rewire itself whenever it needs to. It's actually called live wiring. Okay, and this live wiring is done for a specific reason. And so to support this idea of live wiring, the article used a case study where a child had lost both eyes due to cancer. Okay, he lost both his eyes to cancer, which obviously meant he lost his vision also. And what they noticed was that his brain actually rewired itself so that he could have sharper hearing. Now, we've all heard this kind of thing, right? Where if you lose one of your senses, one or some of your other ones get more enhanced. We've all heard of that, right? So what actually happens, though, in those cases is that the brain actually repurposes the part of your parts of your anatomy that were originally designated for that task to do something different. So in this child's case, his visual cortex was no longer being used for vision, but it's still a part of the brain. So it was actually rewired and repurposed so that he could acquire sound more accurately, more distinctions of sound. So basically the brain said, hey, since you're not using that anymore, let me just take that and apply it here instead. Let's just use all those neurons in your visual cortex and dedicate them to the process of translating sound. And that resulted in the child having increased hearing power. And neuroscientists used to think that certain parts of the brain were predetermined to handle certain functions. Okay, visual cortex, processes images. The temporal lobe processes sound, et cetera, et cetera. But it turns out that when any part of the brain isn't being used or needed, the brain starts to do its live wiring and reassigns it to different tasks. So understand that the more territory that a particular sense occupies, so the part of your brain that processes a specific sense, the more territory that it occupies, the stronger that sense will be. And what this means is that there's nothing special about any of the neurons in your brain for any specific function. Okay? They can all be rewired in order to process any other function or purpose needed for survival. So this is a testament to how super efficient our brains are. And there's actual truth in the phrase, use it or lose it. Okay, which circles back around to the theory around why we dream. So to preserve our visual cortex, okay, think of the brain as this territorial battleground. And the neurons are actively searching for unused or neglected parts to recruit for their cause. And the unique problem with our visual cortex is that when we close our eyes, guess what? Okay, when we close our eyes to get good quality sleep, we've the good quality sleep that we've been preaching, right? We temporarily stop our vision. And if there's pitch black, which is ideal for the deepest sleep, right? If there's pitch black, and at the very least, if it's drastically cut down because there's still light in the room when you sleep, it's drastically cut down. So this can then activate this territorial activity. And basically the brain says, oh, you aren't using that, right? It's kind of like when I was growing up, right? I was raised with my aunt's house, and she had 5 or 6 other kids, right? So, if there was food left on the plate, it's like, oh, you're not done with that, right? Right? So it's kind of like that's going on. Right?
He still does that,
the
mind
brain
you.
says, what?
I said you still do that. I have to cover my plate when we're having dinner.
So the brain says, oh, you aren't using that? Let me see if I can just take it over and find better use for it. So the brilliance of evolution is set up so that when we dream, it throws up a stop sign to those territorial leeches and keeps the visual cortex alive and active through the night. Think of it as your visual cortex, your visual cortex's security system to protect it from being taken over at night. That REM sleep we've been talking about is said to pump activity straight into the visual cortex. And Ross talked about the increased activity there as well in the spinal fluid. Well, it also increases the visual activity in the visual cortex, and that's how we have visions or hallucinations while our eyes are closed. Okay, it's to back this up. There's also research that shows that this territorial takeover, this live wiring, can happen as little as within an hour of neglect. Right? So within an hour of you closing your eyes, your visual senses are at risk. Okay, again, a testament to how efficient our brain is, how efficient it is to repurpose and rewire itself when needed. And so the theory is that dreams are a part of the whole biological process of protecting your sight because it has become such a critical and essential part of evolution. It's called, in the articles, the defensive activation theory, for all you brain nerds out there. Okay, the defensive activation theory. Okay, all right. So we go back to the dentist. So the dreams are kind of like that entertainment distraction tool your unconscious mind gives you so that it can go and do the rest of the work that it needs to do, right? And so it's important to understand that there's so much we truly do not understand about dreams, and to write them off as just mere random images, sensations, or experiences that we have while sleeping is just premature at best. Okay, and I like to think that the dreams are bridges for communication with our inner worlds, where we can find answers, wisdom, and inspiration, if you know where to look and how to decipher what you find. I mean, even in ancient Egypt, dreams were considered divine revelations that could provide insight into one's destiny or purpose. And the vivid and colorful dreams of certain individuals were even recorded on papyrus, because they were believed to have special connection to the divine. And then you fast forward the 19th and 20th centuries, where Sigmund Freud, neurologist and psychoanalyst, introduced the concept of unconscious mind and its role in our dreams. And then, of course, good old Carl Jung and his contribution to the field of dream interpretation. Jung believed and basically rekindled the ancient concepts of dreams being mystical and windows into our deeper selves. He believed that dreams served more than just a biological purpose, and more than just reorganizing and processing information. He really brought to life the idea that dreams were a way for us to have an interaction with our inner worlds. And essentially, there you have the birth of modern day dream interpretation. Okay, and even that field is constantly bumping up on the outer edges of realizing just how little we actually do know about dreams and dreaming. I mean, did you know that there is science out there that can actually create an actual video of a person's dream?
It's cool.
Do you understand? Wild. It's really wild. So what they do is they record the brain patterns of people, what they see when they're awake, right? They're test subjects. And then while sleeping, they then monitor the brain patterns, and then they use obviously computers to match those patterns. They match them up with the patterns of what they saw when they were awake. And then they compile those images into a video sequence. And then when the person wakes up, they compare their findings with what the participant describes as the dream experience. And it's shockingly accurate. Okay? Pretty fascinating stuff, right? Yeah. Which feeds to one of the purposes being sort of the reorganizing and processing of what we see throughout our waking life. But that's just one of the processes. It's one of the reasons, one of the purposes, okay? Because where it gets more complex is that each one of those images are just a small fraction of the dream experience. It doesn't recreate or consider or take into account the sounds that were actually heard, the emotions that were actually felt, and how those things compared on both the waking and the sleeping sides of experience. Right? Again, this is why having dream interpretation tool is that is personalized comes in very handily for those who really wish to explore and optimize the realm of dreams. So if you're interested, as I mentioned, join us on that Master Lab. Type hashtag Master Lab in the comments. We will get back to you on how to get more access information to that and join us there. If you really want to master the art of slumber and dreams, hashtag Master Lab in the comments, and we'll get back to you on how you can be a part of that.
Very cool. We are going so much further with technology when it comes to dream technology and what we can do. So in case you didn't realize, dreams have changed the world. Dreams have changed history. There is so much supporting evidence to suggest that people can have unconscious communications during dreams. And this can occur in many different ways. So one is that people may communicate non-verbally during dreams, such as through gestures, facial expressions, or other non-verbal cues. This can be especially relevant in dreams that involve interaction with other people, where communication may occur without words. And they've done a lot of studies where somebody is asleep and they give them instructions prior to going to sleep, and then the people will actually start moving parts of their body, their eyes especially, and such, and communicating that, yes, I'm in my dream realm. It's amazing. Dreams can be an important way for the subconscious mind to process emotions, and emotional communication can occur between people in dreams without necessarily using words or even seeing each other. Let that one sink in. In some cases, people have reported experiencing shared dreams with other individuals. While the scientific evidence for shared dreams is very limited, because it's a toughie, there are some anecdotal reports of people sharing similar dream content or experiencing a sense of connectedness with someone else during a dream. Okay. One of the things that Gary and I have talked about many times is that while you're dreaming, you can create what we call a council of 12 or a round table of advisors. You literally pre-select them in your waking state, and then you bring them forth while you're dreaming. And we're going to go into this when we do lucid dreaming, but you can bring them into it, and they are your advisors. You're going to ask them questions. You'll be amazed what this does. Okay. Dream influencing is also where you interact with the subject while they're dreaming and you are dreaming as well. And this is something that has always fascinated me. I've been doing this for years. In other words, as I'm falling asleep, I am telling my subconscious mind who I want to connect to. And then I ask my subconscious mind, I said, when you connect, then I fall asleep. But I'm telling my subconscious mind, when you connect to that person in their dream state, wake me up.
Hey, Ross, I just want to, I sorry to interrupt, but Kimberly just put something with it, just funny. Kimberly McCracken. Hold on. So she says, I called my deceased grandmother in a dream. She answered, but denied it was her and told me not to call that number again.
Grammy, what's the deal?
That's too funny, Kim.
That's hilarious. So you can do.
Okay, Tracy, we'll catch you another time.
So you can do this dream influencing. It's very powerful. It's very powerful if you want to connect to somebody that you can't seem to get to them in the waking world. In other words, they won't talk to you, or you can't seem to just break through some sort of a barrier and such, because now they're not expecting you to be coming into it. This is a very long process, but it works amazing. You can do this for negotiating. If you're going to have a meeting with somebody the next day, just pop in and connect to them in their dreams the night before. You'll be amazed. So, and then there's also to refresh and support your creative processes where dreams come in. So history has shows that many dreams directly lead to the ideas that change the world. Larry Page came up with this idea for Google during a dream. A gentleman by the name of Dmitry Mendeléev came up with the periodic table of elements. Elias Howe was inspired to invent his I can't remember what machine that was. Anyhow, he created and then you have James Watson envisioned the DNA double helix while he was sleeping. Nikola Tesla, not Elon, Nikola, got the idea for the alternating current generator. I mean, I think he's pretty much one of the more famous people who used the dream state to create a lot of his inventions. Albert Einstein, same thing, and such. So, your dream state is an amazing way to connect with resources, and a lot of times those resources are already in your subconscious mind, but you just haven't you haven't gotten through all the dirt to find those little nuggets of gold and such. It's powerful. Again, Gary's going to talk a little bit about that with dream journaling, because all of these that I've just mentioned have a dream journal right next to their bed. All of them. And then there's, of course, lucid dreaming that we're going to be covering on the next live stream. And it's very cool. So overall, while unconscious communication during dreams may be possible, it's also still an area of very, very active research. As Gary was saying, even technology is going in and saying, well, we want a piece of this. But all the scientific evidence is very limited. And so it's coming along, but it's still limited. So it's clear that dreams can provide insights into your subconscious thoughts and your emotions. And it's very, very important way for the brain to process and integrate all of this complex information.
So we've discussed how many studies have shown that dream helps with memory, consolidation, emotional regulation, problem solving, and all those things. It's as if our dreams are our own personal therapists, guiding us through the challenges and struggles of our waking lives. And just like a seed needs fertile soil and water to grow, our dreams need our attention and nurturing to manifest their full potential. So by paying attention to our dreams and interpreting their symbols and messages and what those things mean to us individually, we can gain more valuable insight into our own personal lives and the experiences that we have, right? So the next live stream is we'll be, like Ross said, we'll be talking about is Lucid Dreamings, episode 111, Dreaming Awake, Navigating the Secrets of Lucid Dreaming is the title. Make sure you block off time, your 9 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday, and show up early so you don't miss anything. What are we doing next week, Ross? Are we doing an interview next week?
Next week we have an interview, and her name is who was it? It's an unusual name. I want to say Bunny.
The name either.
I want to
Stay away
Bunny.
because it's a really good interview. You want to jump on that next week for sure.
Yeah.
For the Infinity interview.
Yeah, we are
series.
booked up with interviews into next year now. So
we're gonna have to open up some more dates.
All straight is getting kind of crazy, but yeah, it's very, very cool.
So today, we encourage you to embrace the power of your dreams and explore that journey of self-discovery and transformation. Remember, like a ship, it needs like a ship needs a captain to navigate through the stormy seas. You can be the captain of your dreams and chart your course towards the desired destinations of your choice. Okay. And one piece of advice that I can give you is to get you started on is to start a dream journal. If you don't already have one, I'd suggest that you start doing the dream journal, start doing dream journal before you start doing any or attempting any dream interpretation. Just get in the habit and the pattern of doing the dream journal. Just work on recording your dreams, whether it's written in a journal or recorded as an audio, digital audio. Okay. The first and critical step is to begin tuning into the dreams you're having, and then you can pursue the study and the practice of dream interpretation. Okay. In our master lab, Sleep, Dreams, and True Nature of Your Reality, we'll lay it out for you so that even if you don't remember a dream, you can still do the process and get the message from your unconscious mind. Really cool process. So that's our live stream for today. Let me leave you with two things. First is a quote by the Treasure Island author. Robert Louis Stevenson once said, "To be what we are and to become what we are capable of becoming is the only end of life." Okay. Yes. And second, it's time for everyone here to unlock your true potential through the mysteries of your dreams. And part of that potential is for you to be exceptional. The only way to do that is to implement what you learn and learn from what you implement. Till next time, everyone, be well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday. Every Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, we're here. Tune in, schedule it, put your reminders on. And if you like the content, share. If you think someone will benefit from any of our live streams, please do. I saw a few of you had done a bunch of shares today. Thank you, appreciate that. Share it. You could be shifting, altering, or changing someone's life with some awareness or insight in things that maybe they're struggling with. All right.
And
So again, thanks everyone.
If you're new to what we do, all of our videos are on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type in @Infinity Matrix, and it'll take you right to our homepage, and you'll see there's over 200 videos now on there.
And that's the @ symbol, like you're doing like an email, like an @ symbol.
So
all right.
put that in the search on YouTube, take you right to our page, and you're going to see from day one, our very, very first video. So you have 200 hours or more of training.
We're hesitant to drop the link in the comments because every time we do it, Facebook kind of penalizes us in the exposure of our content because they think we're taking people away from their platform, which in some ways I guess we do. All right, so be well, everyone. We'll see you next week, and until then, be well.
Thank you.
So we truly hope you enjoyed this latest live stream. Each week, we bring you the best in cutting-edge techniques and processes to help you better yourself and create the reality you desire. In order to stay notified for more live streams like this, as well as any upcoming interviews, master labs, or time clips, be sure to click the like button and ring that bell. As a matter of fact, you might be ready to step things up for yourself. You see, everything and everyone you've been exposed to in our live streams all have one thing in common. They've harnessed their own potential, claimed their badass self, raised their game, and leveled up. Whether it be in business, personal, romantic, for whatever dimension of life you choose, there's always a next level. So we encourage you to rekindle your passion, your purpose, and spirit, and step it up and register for our next free 5-day badass challenge. The link is below, and we are excited to see you take a leap into a new reality that only you can imagine.